Okay, good afternoon. It is Monday, March 31st. This is Debbie Davis. So, I'm just being harassed nonstop here. So, just the local police are harassing me, and it's just nonstop. And I don't know why they always drive by me. It's literally the only way to say it is just harassment. And I'm a veteran, and I think it has to do with Tim Walz. Um, he these people are dangerous here. These people are dangerous. These Democrats, and um, you know, they are truly dangerous. I haven't really talked about Tim Walz that much. I've mentioned him a couple times, but I think he's the one. He's involved in having the police stalk me. It's literally like a stalking harassment thing. This is why one of the whole reasons. The point of why are we paying people when first they're not doing their job. Not only are the police not doing their jobs, as public servants, actually serving us, they're part of my stalking. They're part of the harassment and the stalking. And this all, a lot of the police distrust started with the whole George Floyd thing that happened here. And that happened here in Minneapolis, right, downtown. And this was, not only a national thing, it was an international. We watched a police officer step on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes, just openly. And it killed him. It was murder, and he is in jail, is my understanding, Derek Chauvin. To me, it was like they keep pushing it. Like, how much can we get away with? It was like, and yes, and I don't even think, they made it, they didn't even totally make it clear exactly what happened there, even when the case came out. The guy apparently just gave a false $20 bill, and nobody even saw the $20 bill. Like, the whole thing, like, why was he even arrested? Why were the police even arresting him? That's first of all. You have to have a legitimate arrest. You can't just be harassing somebody for no reason. Well, they do that to me all the time. So maybe they were just harassing him. I don't know, but what was the whole reason why they were arresting him to begin with? We never even got a clear story on that, in this case, and then, and apparently then he saw the police coming and he popped fentanyl. Okay, this is the George Floyd situation. And so he was overdosing on a fentanyl overdose when this guy was stepping on his neck, and he died. And what he should have done as a police officer is just handcuff him, whatever the minor crime was, even if whatever he did. He's okay. So he probably bought drugs or something at that store, maybe, and gave a $20 bill, or who knows. It's not even clear. Like, that's, you need to make clear to begin with what was the whole reason for the arrest. They forget. You see these chases and different things like that, and it's like, well, what is the reason for the chase? Because you have to have a legitimate reason to harass somebody or arrest somebody, and it's like, oh, did we forget that part? Did we forget? It started with that, where you see this guy openly stepping on this guy's neck, and so nobody ever since then, what he should have done is just arrest him and then give him that Narcan thing for the fentanyl overdose, and instead he just allowed him to die. And so, nobody trusts the police ever since then. It's just kind of gone downhill ever since then. But I have a situation here with this community care that I wanted.
Minneapolis VA community.
With this community care where, and I don't know if other veterans are having this issue with community care, but we have this third-party company that I've talked about called Optum that is apparently overseeing our care in the community, like who can be approved, and I'm just getting like the runaround with this latest latest community care thing that I was supposed to have.
Thank you for calling the Minneapolis VA Community Care Department. Our office is now closed.
Oh.
Calls are answered from 8:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday through Friday, except on federal holidays.
I'm supposed to be open
If
till
you are
4.
having medical or mental
So I got this phone call from the VA. Let's see. You know,
Hi, Debbie. My name's Heidi. I'm calling from the VA regarding continuing acupuncture care out in the community.
I have acupuncture
So
care.
please give me a call back at 612-467-1085. Thank you.
So this lady called me back, and I'm trying to call her back about continuing my care with my acupuncture, but they played all kinds of games with the massage therapy referral. At first, they referred me to this one place.
You have reached Heidi with the referral team at the Minneapolis VA. Please leave your full name.
Okay, so hopefully I got approved for continuing acupuncture care because we have an acupuncturist in the community that's very, very good. And but the massage therapy, they're playing all kinds of games with me with this community care. At first they sent me to this one place, Northwestern College of Chiropractic, and then all of a sudden Northwestern said, "Oh no, we're no longer taking veterans." You know, after I had just been approved for 12 sessions, now they're like reneging on the whole thing. Oh, but we're not going to work with Debbie. You know, I mean, this is like, you know, like everybody's like, you know, clearly picking sides, you know, either Democrat, Republican, Christian, Satanist, whatever, you know, it's like clear sides going on here. And I'm still like, I'm definitely like a huge target. And I mean, nobody should have to live like this just because you reported a crime at a military base 13 years ago now. Like, seriously, this is how we treat our veterans. The police, they should be embarrassed, but they never are. They're not embarrassed. They don't seem to. So, you know, to me, that shows that we're dealing with a certain personality type that is really like what you call a narcissist, or they're not even embarrassed. They're harassing a veteran. They're not. And like that Derek Chauvin, he's just like openly standing there, killing somebody, you know, with his foot on his neck, and that did kill him because he was having a fentanyl overdose while he was doing that. So that's what killed him, you know. And then so ever since then, it's like it's been this downfall with the police where nobody trusts them. You know, everybody's recording, and then, you know, then a lot of them started quitting and different things like that. And then they started bringing in ones that seemed to be even worse, you know, and really, really bad. And then we've even had like these situations with these unmarked sheriffs, which I've said before, it's illegal. You can't have an unmarked sheriff pulling people over. They don't even have it. Like, they're not even, that's not legal. So, I mean, they're just doing all kinds of stuff without, that are against state rules and things like that. But anyway, and then I'm still having this issue. I still haven't received the check from Progressive. They seem to still be playing games, even though I was told I was going to receive this check. You know, I had played this with this Catherine.
Hi, Deborah. This is Catherine Clayton with Progressive.
Saying I am going to be receiving a check, but then I was also told not to go back to Progressive, like threatening. I will be receiving a payment. Okay, when am I going to receive that, Catherine? And then I also called last week on a Tuesday and talked to Progressive Roadside, and they confirmed that the check was mailed out on Monday. Okay, so, and I have looked at my mail, and it's not there. So, Progressive, I still want to know where my check is. I've been told twice that I'll be receiving a check. Okay, so where is my check? Okay, so this is issues with Progressive again. And so, I mean, who can we trust? We can't trust the insurance. We can't trust the police. It's like, you know, you have to trust the other patriots, I guess, you know. But yeah, these are the issues that I'm having, and this is this Ajero company, and like I said, it's these third-party companies that that these insurance seems to be working with. They're third party. The CIA works with third-party companies, and this Optum, I believe, is the one that's playing the game with my massage therapy. Optum, they're the ones who approve who gets, which companies get approved to work with the veterans with outside care. Well, Optum has been, has all kinds of complaints against them online of your treatment of veterans. So I don't know why we involve Optum at all with anything with veterans. You shouldn't be involved in any kind of any of our care at all. You've proven that you will abuse veterans and that you will not approve their disabilities when they go. I already had that situation with Optum. So they're a terrible company, and they should have nothing to do with anything. And and then also Northwestern College. I mean, the way they treated me when I called them and I said, okay, I'm ready to schedule my my appointment. And then they said, and I was told by Community Care that I was approved for 12 sessions with them. And then they said, oh no, we're no longer working with veterans. So, I wouldn't trust Northwestern College of Chiropractic. That's like a big college here. I mean, clearly they're on, if they just completely like reneged on the whole thing. Like, oh, I don't care if we said we were going to work on a veteran. Well, now we're not going to. We decided we're not going to. We're going to decide we're going to pick and choose who we want to work on. Well, that's not what the VA approved. The VA already approved 12 sessions. And so, so that's what happened with Northwestern College of Chiropractic. And so, yeah, it's just nonstop. So, I mean, these people, it's going to take like constant hammering and constant arrests to, because they're not going to change. It's a certain mentality, narcissist, you call it, and arrogance, and they are not going to change. They really do feel that they are above us, and they feel like they are going to get away with this, and and unless we continue fighting, this is how they're going to act. And so that's why I'm adamant about videotaping them, because I was like, you do know you're harassing me, right? And I have tried to talk with the police and had conversations with them in the past, and I've talked about it on my channel, and they don't listen. They'll pull me over, and they won't even know the law that they're using, and literally like they're just taking orders from the corporation. Okay, they're taking orders from the corporation, the U.S. corporation, which has been dissolved, and that is why they need to be told to stand down. And if they don't, then they need to be arrested. Okay, because they're taking I've tried talking to them. I've tried saying, I've tried even mentioning in videos and things like that, like, if you're taking wrongful orders, like, this is what happened in the military. If you take some kind of a wrongful order and it hurts somebody, like in the military, you could be held accountable for that, just for following through with that order. And I've tried talking to the police about this type of thing. They don't listen. They don't care. Well, I mean, the ones maybe that did care, they quit, and they're finding different. But, there was a big downfall of police, and they were quitting and everything, or just finding different jobs, because there's just too much politics involved, But yeah, you're really dumb. You're really not a smart person if you're a police officer just following orders from a corporation. Okay, because the corporation has been dissolved, and you're going to get in trouble if you continue, because the U.S. corporation where you're following these orders from to harass, it's called, I'm on this targeted individual list. This is 100% illegal. You don't have any kind of legal authority to harass me. Okay, and that's why I videotape you, and I mean, I have at least 75 videotapes in my shorts, between my shorts and my longs. I mean, at least 7,500. No, I mean, I would say, and then I have probably 100 more pictures of them stalking me on top of it, besides videos. So, I mean, I literally have, like probably 300 documentation of police harassment. Now, if that's not enough to charge charge these people with police harassment, I don't know what is. They need to be charged with police harassment in this county, Hennepin County. So, that is what needs to happen. I mean, I have like at least 100 videos of them stalking me and harassing me. So I don't know how much more evidence I need to prove that I'm being stalked and harassed by the police. It's nonstop. And so, how much more evidence do you need to prove that this is a harassment issue? There's been people that have filed lawsuits against police harassment for way less than this, like 10 times or, there was a case years ago where a guy won in Golden Valley Court, thousands of dollars. Mine's 100 times worse. I mean, mine is like every day. Okay, this is police harassment, and they need to be charged with police harassment in Hennepin County. Okay, I mean, I have at least 70 videos or so in between my shorts and my longs of police harassment. Plus, I have pictures. Okay, so I have the evidence, and so they just need to be charged. I don't know why we're continue just to play around with these people. They're not going to change. They really do think in their narcissist personality or whatever that they're above us. It's like a narcissistic arrogance. So if we don't stop them, they will still continue. Okay, and they are dangerous. So anyway, I don't know if other people are dealing with these issues with community care, but I don't trust this Optum company that's, being the one to be overseeing who we get to see or not. Okay, so that seems to be an issue there. This Optum, and then Northwestern, forget that place. I don't, if that's the way you treat veterans, why would I even want to go there for a massage? Okay.